All right, so Trump and Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, just did a press conference, and I just couldn't help but do this quick video because a lot of things are going on, and I want to explain a lot of the key messaging because some of the speech, I saw it, heard the whole thing, and there were some clues there that are really getting a lot of Anons and others just questioning what's to come, as well as some of the secret like messages behind what's being shown and told at face value and as an optics thing. And so many of you guys, if you have been following Q or just some of the conspiracy type stuff, there's a lot of alignment to the Bible prophecy, to also what's going on in modern day society and how that needs to kind of unfold and how we can sort of interpret some of the signs and clues and sort of the end times type news. So that's why I want to just quickly do this video and show you guys what I've seen, what others have seen, just briefly, and then just wanted to know what you guys think. Your comments below help a lot. I read a lot of them, not all of them, but many of them. If you comment early, I do read those. And also what you guys think in terms of what's coming, because as you guys have heard me talking in the last week, there's a lot of activity, especially in the military space, for which some of the greatest times are coming. But the question is, how is that going to unfold and how is that going to be presented to us? And then when we discern it, what is the actual meaning behind some of these things? So let's go right into it. And by the way, it's my first time being out to try and practice screen share and recording and all of that. This is on my phone, so bear with me. I'm hoping to get it quick, smooth, and seamless, but this has to be a practice for me because I'm going to be out and about traveling and doing various things, and I need to be able to practice these things. So thank you guys so much for being patient. So in this first video, it's interesting to know what Trump is saying about timeline. So I want to watch the video and then we can discuss it.
So this is a big, big day, a beautiful day, potentially one of the great days ever in civilization. Things that have been going on for hundreds of years and thousands of years. At least we're at a minimum very, very close, and I think we're beyond very close. And I want to thank Bibi for really getting in there and doing a job. We've worked well together, as we have with many other countries, both of us, with many other countries, which is the only way this whole situation gets solved. And I'm not just talking about Gaza. Gaza is one thing, but we're talking about much beyond Gaza. The whole deal, everything getting solved. It's called peace in the Middle East.
So listen to him say everything getting solved. Listen to him saying hundreds, if not thousands of years, and indicating that there's something recent that happened, as well as something that has just been biblical in the sense of thousands of years. And so when he's talking about everything, as well as this day being one of the greatest days, it's not some understatement, right? He's saying that something has freed, something has changed. And one thing that many of us that are on the boards, the Q boards, we're always looking for when Israel will be saved. Because what Q says here in post 916, as we all know, I've shared this before, we are saving Israel for last. Very specific reason, not mentioned a single time. And the thought here is that Israel, as well as many other nations, they're under the ironclad grasp of the deep state and whoever that is. And many of us, or many people saying, and again, I'm not saying this per se, but many people saying that the Zionists, or as Revelation chapter 2 verses 9 and Revelation chapter 3 verses 9 says, that there are fake Jews. There's somebody, if you want to call them Zionists or others, that are taking place of Jews and trying to control the Jewish people under the guise of being a Jew when really they are not Jews, or they are taking hostage the Israelite people due to the financial system, as well as all the other, Illuminati quote unquote type stuff that many of the other nations are bound to because of through the use of, the monetary system and all of that, the banking systems and all of that. So many people are watching for when that freedom will happen, because not only from a biblical sense where people need to come to know Christ and to actually be freed from the religious grasp of the Judeo or the Jewish kind of religion, so that they would come and be freed of the Mosaic law and not even that, just like the whole Israel culture of that, and then receiving Christ, but also from what is this Antichrist spirit going into the last days. But practically speaking, in this day and age, how is that being shown? Because a lot of people thinking because of this deep state Illuminati that Trump and the White Hats are trying to remove the pressure as well as the grasp of, then this will happen in some sense last. So those words that he's saying, they're big words, right? Now let's watch another clip here where he's talking about Hamas as well as some other things.
Even come close, but it's we're right there. We're right there. First time in thousands of years, I think you can probably say, if you really look into it, if you study back, if you're a scholar, you would say thousands of years. Israel would have my full backing to finish the job of destroying the threat of Hamas. But I hope that we're going to have a deal for peace. And if Hamas rejects the deal, which is always possible, they're the only one left. Everyone else has accepted it. But I have a feeling that we're going to have a positive answer. But if not, as you know, Bibi, you'd have our full backing to do what you would have to do. Everyone understands that the ultimate result must be the elimination of any danger posed in the region. And that danger is caused by Hamas. The tyranny of terror has to end, and this is, again, something that we're looking for. This is eternity. This is for forever. To ensure the success of this effort, my plan calls for the creation of a new international oversight body, the Board of Peace, we call it, the Board of Peace, sort of a beautiful name, the Board of Peace, which will be headed not at my request, believe me, I'm very busy, but we have to make sure this works. The leaders of the Arab world and Israel and everybody involved asked me to do this, so it would be headed by a gentleman known as President Donald J. Trump of the United States. That's what I want, is some extra work to do, but it's so important that I'm willing to do it. And we'll do it right, and we're going to put leaders from other countries on, and leaders that are very distinguished leaders.
Now listen to what he's saying. He's saying not only Hamas that's causing like the destruction, but he's saying all of the danger in that area. So what does that mean? Like, is he having a dual meaning? Is he doing double speak right now, where not only is there Hamas and sort of that arm where it's being weaponized, the people there and to the ideological gains of all that, but also the threat being internal, meaning that there was a takeover there or whatever that means, because he's saying these things intentionally. It sounds like, oh, he's just saying whatever, but he's reading these notes. They're carefully scripted in some sense. And by scripted, I mean like it's prepared as a speech to make sure that the message is being heard not only to the world and those that are watching, but to the enemy themselves, the deep state, whoever it is that you want to call there. So that's interesting to note, right? So now let's quickly look at what he says about the plan after Israel, because this gets very interesting.
Your plan is consistent with the 5 principles my government set for the end of the war and the day after Hamas. Everybody asks, what is your plan for the day after Hamas? Here's our plan. Your plan is consistent with the 5 principles my government set for the end of the war and the day after Hamas. Everybody asks, what is your plan for the day after Hamas? Here's our plan. Pass it in the cabinet. All our hostages, both those who are alive and those who died, all of them will return home immediately. Hamas will be disarmed. Gaza will be demilitarized. Israel will retain security responsibility, including a security perimeter for the foreseeable future. And lastly, Gaza will have a peaceful civilian administration that is run neither by Hamas nor by the Palestinian Authority. If Hamas agrees to your plan, Mr. President, the first step will be a modest withdrawal, followed by the release of all our hostages within 72 hours. The next step will be the establishment of an international body charged with fully disarming Hamas and demilitarizing Gaza. I appreciate your willingness to lead the body, Mr. President. I really appreciate it because you have a lot of things to do, and this is important. And it reflects the the confidence that this will give everyone, that things will be followed up on all the commitments made. The fact that you're taking this on, I think helps a lot to make sure that everything flows in the direction that we want.
So remember, in that earlier video, he mentioned the body of peace, the board of peace. And so when the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, is talking about the Hamas and, Gaza and all of that stuff, I believe that there's dual meaning. I can't see it beyond the fact that it's not what you think it is on the outside from an optics perspective point of view. And so let me know what you guys think. I'm still trying to get my head around this. I know other people are digging into this to see what's going on. But Trump, he has a 20-point plan. I think, I'm not sure if it's completely published, but some of it is very, in some sense, vague. But there's others where it's just literally clear, like what's to be done. The hostages, the governance, the future, and just many things. And this plan is giving the ultimatum not only to Hamas, but it's bringing in something lasting. Trump earlier also mentioned the Abraham Accords. He tried to pronounce it correctly as well, but this is a dramatic shift and it's a huge development in that region with regards to peace. So I believe that there's something more going on with the control of the deep state, the globalists and whoever it is, and that freedom is coming, but also from the terror that is basically the extended arm that has weaponize some of the radicals in that area to go against each other. Remember, a lot of what the deep state and these guys want is inner domestic, like attacks, like people infighting within religions, within races, within, whatever it is. And the same goes for Israel because it helps fund, not only war but also keep, it sounds sadistic, but like the population in check and just getting people distracted so they don't fixate on who the real enemy is and all that stuff. And so, again, a lot of things going on here. I'm still trying to digest it, but would love to know your guys' thoughts below. But I believe when Trump is saying these things that it's one of the craziest, biggest days, that's not like a coincidence. Now, Israel, real quickly, when I search it in the keyboards, it's only mentioned 15 times. One of the drops that kind of comes to my mind is 2337, which is on October 4th. Which has like a 7-year delta, but basically it says Israel intelligence stand down, media assets will be removed. So I'm thinking like in the next 4 days, something might go down where that drop in that delta might say something about some of the media as well as the intelligence and whatever else comes out of it. So stay tuned, guys. A lot going on. October is going to be crazy. So I believe that we're nearly there in the sense of just this whole white hat plan. Again, like I've said, it's a great time to be alive. The movie is playing and we are being awakened to a lot of things. Guys, you guys know also I'm doing a fundraiser. If you guys want to help me out, the link is down below, givesendgo.com/Christian. Would love your support. Love you guys. More to come. Talk to you guys very soon.